visiting lecture. First of all, I would like to thank our management, registrar, and our principal for giving this opportunity to conduct the international visiting lectures. And also, I would like to thank the management from the University STEKOM, Indonesia, Dr. Joseph, Rector, STEKOM University, Ms. Novita, MC, STEKOM University. Now, I would like to invite our speaker, Professor Vaidegi. She is Assistant Professor of Computer Science and Engineering to lecture the international visiting, to lecture the data visualization and data wrangling. Thank you. Uh, Professor Vaidegi, madam, you will take care of yourself.
Sure, the speakers have joined. Like,
Afternoon. I'm very glad to do this visiting lecture. Special thank to my STEKOM University for inviting me. Is my voice is audible to everyone? Just I want to know that. Is my voice is audible?
yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, today we are going to know about the topic data visualization and data wrangling. Now I presented my slide and then we will proceed that. We will able to know that what does mean by data visualization and data wrangling. So is my screen is visualized to everyone? That is, I think I will do that full screen option.
Yes.
It is visible to everyone?
Yes, miss.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Now we are going to know about what is mean by data wrangling. Data wrangling is nothing but it is a transforming the structured data from one form to another desired form. That is, it may be the data it's in a clumsy form. We are going to segregate it in a separate way. That is said to be data wrangling. So what is data wrangling? In the sense conversion of data from one form to another form. That is, for example, if I planned to start a one-stop shop, so I have keep everything as a initially I will collect all the data, so right? After that, I'm going to segregate it. That is said to be data wrangling. I'm going to giving a structure for a data. That is said to be data wrangling. The data wrangling is initially consist of 6 steps, which is discovering, structuring, cleaning, enriching, validating, and publishing. What is mean by discovering? That is, I already told that actually being a owner, I planned to start a one-stop shop. That is said to be discovering. That is, I am setting my goal, which is said to be discovering. After that, what is meant by structuring? How I am going to implement my research, right? That is said to be structuring. That is what type of a place it should be, how it will attract the peoples, whether the peoples are comes to there. That is said to be structuring. After that, what are all the things will be comes to the structuring means how I am going to arrange the element, that are all how where should I buy the products and where the data warehouse is present, that are all comes under and structuring. After that, cleaning. That is I collected many data for implementing my one-stop shop, right? So to that, I'm going to clean it. That is after collection of information, I'm going to delete the errors, which is said to be cleaning. That is enriching, means I'm going to do accurate one or a properized one, which is said to be enriching, and validating whether I do the concept, whether I do the research in a right way, whether I'm going to validate it. After that, after validating, I'm going to publish it. This is said to be the overall steps of data wrangling. So this is data wrangling in NumPy, which is nothing but we are going to see about, actually we are going to see about data wrangling, how the data wrangling has takes place in Python. In Python, we are having a one special package, which is said to be NumPy and Pandas. Actually, we are going to see about only NumPy and Pandas, which is going to get implemented on data wrangling. That is said to be data wrangling. Now, data wrangling is a data platform. That is, I already told that it consists of 6 steps, right? Which is said to be, this is the scrapping, that is collection of data, many datas. After that, it enters into the wrangling process. What the wrangling data will do, which are having mishandling data. That is, for example, I searched for one thing, but I got a different thing. That is said to be missed data handling, and outliers, which is the errors, and web scrap. Some other data has getted, and then joined data. This is all comes under data wrangling. I'm going to segregate it. After that, I'm going to visualize it. Then it will going to get deployed. This is the actual process, which is said to be in data wrangling. And then now we are enter into our actual topic, which is what is NumPy. So what is NumPy? Before NumPy, we have to know about what is mean by Python. So what is Python? Anyone can me tell what is Python? Anyone can tell what is Python? Actually, Python is the language, right? It's my voice is audible to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, Python is a language. It is actually an interpreter. We know that many we can able to. You people are, I think, know that what is a C, C++, Java, and then everything is a language, right? So that language is is a high level language, isn't it? So Python is a interpreter. It is not a what programming language. It is an interpreter. What is mean by interpreter? In the sense, it will detect the error in a line by line. Okay, once if I enter the data, so that it detects the error immediately. If I am enter the data in a wrong way, means it will detect the error immediately, and it inform to the particular user, right? That is the difference between the other programming language and Python. And Python having a many types of packages. In that, one of the important package and also a major role plays nowadays in IT sectors, and then in business sectors, everything, just NumPy and Pandas. That is, today we are going to see that. What are the uses of NumPy? Actually, NumPy is highly used in markets, that is business. The business share market fields, because we can do all the statistics in statistics formulas in NumPy. So these are all the major 10 that is uses of NumPy. We can use it. I already told that, which is used in statistical operation, and it is also used in a mathematical operation and broadcasting informations. For all the field, NumPy and Pandas are highly used nowadays. So now we are actually going to know about what is the difference between list and array. One of the major topic is list in Python, and one of the major thing is in the NP array in NumPy. First, we have to know about what is meant by list. This is actually how the list as works. Here, if you see that this is the actually created NumPy list on here. So the data has given here is 27 Python, and then somewhat the data they've given it in a float form, right? But it's saved in a system in a different way. It's in a different location. But if I used NumPy, means that particular list had get stored in a contiguous way. See here, you are having 27, 105, and 101, right? So it is stored in a contiguous block. When it comes to an Python, it will stores like that. That is, it will, when I'm going to implement it in list, means it's stored in a different way, right? This is the actual difference between your list and array. We have to know about what is mean. First, initially I told about what is meant by list and what is meant by ND array. Now I am going to tell about what is list and what is array. This is actually list, which is implemented in Python. This is actually array, which is implemented in C. Now I'm going to tell about how the ND array, that is, it is not in a list, but it is in a form of list, but which is implemented in array. That is, here I told that is, it is stored in a contiguous way. For example, see here you are having 27. 27 is an integer value and Python is a string. And then here we are having 27.11. It is a float, right? Once if you are going to implement it in C or C++, it doesn't accept it. This is the wrong data. But in Python, it will accept in a list, right? This is the list. Even though it is accepted in NDR also, NumPy also, it will accept it. Okay, this is the difference between ND array and list. Okay, so what is mean by NumPy data types? So in programming language, we have many type of data types. For example, int, float, character. So these are all the data types. By using that data types only, we can able to declare the values and we can do all the operations like that. NumPy is also having many types of data types. Here they're having np.bool, that is Boolean function, whether it is true or false, that has been takes place on here. And then np.object, right? That is, if you are going to retrieve a video streams or audio streams, for that we are using np.objects. np.number is initially classified into two types, which is np integer and the np in extract. So here the np integer has classified into signed integer and unsigned integer. The signed integer is nothing but we are mentioned whether the given number is a positive or negative. Unsigned means we doesn't care about the positive or negative numbers. It is a just unsigned number, right? That is said to be unsigned number. And here floating value and a complex floating value, that is real part and the imaginary part, which is comes under your complex floating. And then NP character is a NP flexible is a one type, which is comes under NP character and then NP string and then NP bytes. So these are all the general structure of a NumPy data types. Next, how to create a NumPy. So I'm going to implement that is, I'm going to use Python. In that Python, we are having one of the special package, which is NumPy. By using that, I'm going to retrieve the data, or I'm going to insert the data, or I'm going to delete the data. By using this package, I'm going to do that. For that, I'm going to use this command import NumPy, that is the package, as NP. Here NP is an object. By using this object, I'm going to import the NumPy. So here I created one list, and the list having the values of the list has been created in this format. You have to to this bracket, and then you have to insert the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Again, I'm using one variable for accessing the list. So here I give array equal to np dot array. That is, it is array, right? So that's why I'm using the variable, using the name n array. The np is an object. By using this object, I'm going to retrieve this value. Right here, I mentioned the list. After that, I'm giving print type of array. That is, what type of the data type the list has hold. For that, I'm using type. Okay, and then I printed that array. Here, I use this type. Here we are having the output. This is our input I given, and this is our output. Type numpy dot nd array. So I use the package numpy dot nd array, and I told that the second line I told to print this array, so it will print it on here. Okay, this is the way to create a numpy array. Next, suppose if I'm going to add two numbers to the every list, and the intuitive way to do this, like for example, I want to add one more number to my list. Means I should not implement like this. Import numpy array as list I created, and then list equal to list plus 2. I should not do like that, because it will only, here it gives the error, type error, can only concatenate the list, not int. Yeah, it is for, it's once if I am giving like this, it will consider that I am going to concatenate this value with the list. But if I am giving like this, see, import numpy as np, and then list 1 I created here, and then array as usual form, and then array plus 2. That is, after that it's created when I see here output equal to, here we got the output as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then it will print it as 2, 3, 4. That is, here I'm giving that from the 2 you have to insert the value. That's why here it will retrieve 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is the difference. How to add the numbers to the list. So if I'm doing like this, it will be take it as a concatenation. If I'm doing like this, it will be take it as a creating another list, right? So this is a difference. Next, how to create a 2D array. That is, I'm going to, 2D is nothing but two-dimensional array. I'm going to create a two-dimensional array. Here I am having a list 2. As usual, I imported the numpy, and I given the one object name. And then I created a list, which is named it as list 2. So 0, 1, 2, 3, I implemented here. Just I print that as it is whatever we are created on numpy array, right? Creating of nd array. The same formula which is implemented on here. So this is my output. It becomes a two-dimensional array, right? So next, if I want to create a multi-dimensional array, I have to giving like this. It will be stored like this. Anyone having any doubts? It is clear for everyone. It is understandable. Okay, next, D type. What does mean by D type? D type is nothing but data type. So that is, after creation of a list, I'm going to tell that what type of data type it is. So see here, we have one magic on here, that is import numpy as np, right? I created one list, isn't it? But I created the list in a integer, but it will print it as a float. How it's possible? Means I created array 3 and then list 2 as it is. I told here the D type should be in a float. D type equal to float. I mentioned it as a D type equal to float. D type is nothing but data type. My data type, it should be in a float form. So, but I created the list in an integer. When it comes to the output, it printed like a float. Right? This is the magic, which is automatically, once if I mention the command, the numpy will automatically convert that given data into another form. Right? This is also that's why they are using the numpy in data wrangling. Okay, next, as type. So see here, I given this integer as a float, but as a type, int as a type of string. I told here that initially print my list as a float, and after that convert that list 2 as into a string. So initially it will print it as a float, and then here it will convert it into a string. So I can convert a single element into many forms. That is, I can able to create float or a string. So once if I mention that value in a quotes means it will take it as a string, isn't it? So the same thing has been takes place over here. Next. So what are all the D types? That is, what are all the data types we have? So we have the data types as Boolean, string, integer, list, dictionary, function, type, natalizer, and we did it. For example, so this is not that much important for you. This is the major roles. These data types only plays a major role in programming languages, right? So here they are given array object equal to 1 comma a. Somewhat they are declared integer as well as a float. The D type equal to object. So it will take its only, that is, it won't consider whether it is a integer or whether it is a float or it is a boolean. It won't consider. Once if I declare the D type as an object means it just print it. It won't take it that what type of, it won't display error because what type of data type it is, because I already mentioned that it is a object. So once if I declare that object means it will take it as a instance. We already know that object is nothing but instance of a class. So next, to list. So what are all the elements? That is converting an array into a list using to list. That is, once if I give the elements in an array means it converted into a list. That's why we are using the to list. So these are the elements which is present already. As I showed this list, which is present on here. Next, inspecting a numpy array. For example, see here, I given the list like this, right? I printed the type as float and I given the shape. Here I given the D type. Here I given the size. Here I given the dimension. So see, it is a 3x3 matrix, right? It will display the shapes. Shape is 3x3. And then data type, it is a float because I mentioned here as a float. And then size, which is having 9 elements, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Totally 9 elements. So here the size is 9 and dimension is 2-dimensional. Okay, a single, I created only a single list, but I can able to retrieve multiple options from that, right? Multiple datas from that. Next, extracting specific items from an array. That is, I can able to retrieve the exact information, extracting the specific items. For example, here I'm giving D type equal to float and then whole array. That is, whole array means that is you have to display the whole array 3. So it will display it on here. Next, I'm going to trim it. I want a specific elements. So I give it a slicing operator. The full colon is nothing but it is a slicing operator 2, and then which first elements mention the row and the second element which always mention the column. Again I do the slice, so it retrieves 0, 1, 3, 4. Right? It's clear? Next, Boolean indexing. So I imported, as it is, I imported the package, I created one list and D type equal to float. Here I'm giving the value bool equal to array 3, which having greater than 2. That is, display only the greater than 2 value as a true. Otherwise, the elements should be displayed in a false. The output, consider the 0 is less than 2, right? That's why here display it as false, right? And then 1, which is less than 2, false, right? 2 less than 2, yes, it is also false. The remaining elements are greater than 2, right? That is our condition, isn't it? Greater than 2, right? So it will display the remaining elements as a true one. Okay, next. Next, we are going to know about what is pandas. What is the difference between NumPy and pandas? So NumPy is nothing but it's an array, right? It creates, we can do all the operations in array, but panda is similar to NumPy, but it plays a different roles. So I show it to you. So see here, as it is, on that I given import NumPy as NP, right? Here I'm giving import pandas as PD. So this is the panda package. That's why I'm giving pandas, as this is our object for retrieving the panda. I created one again. I created one list. I'm giving the naming as new series, and here I'm using this object PD dot series, right? So here I'm giving some values, right? After that, I print it. See the output 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One thing has happened, that is I didn't mention the D type. It would display the D type as int64, but in NumPy I have to mention the D type. Then only it will display it. But in Pandas, it takes the value automatically and display it what type of data type it is. So, and also it will generate the series number, right? See, here it allots the series number, right? So for example, if I'm giving like this apples and orange, what it will do, it will concatenate it and give the series like this. So this is the difference between your NumPy and Pandas. That's why here I name it as indices in a Panda series. It gives the value, it gives the index value automatically, and then gives the D type, what type of data type it is also in a automatic way. Next, NumPy into Pandas. So how to convert a data into a NumPy into a Pandas? See here, I created one array. So this is the NumPy array. When it enters into Panda, it becomes like this, right? It allots the series names and then display it like this. So next, filtering and maths operation. So consider here I created one series which having the indexing name. See, the output is printed like this, right? And then if I want to create a new series, which is the multiplication of 2, then it will also display it like this. So this is the main concept in Pandas. Okay, how to create a Panda. So this is the way to create a Panda as a data frame. That is, I'm going to store multiple data. This is actually a single data, right? So, but now I'm going to do multiple data. See here, I given pd.data frame, right? So I given country, population, square. So 3 different data. See here, I given some names, right? Country names, and then I given some population values, and then I given the square feet, how much of square feet it has, and then finally I print a df, right? The output looks like this. It will automatically assigns the value. The first value is always on the first row and second row, and then Russia has become second row, and then Belarus becomes third, and Ukraine as fourth, right? This is the way to create a data frame in Pandas. Next, I'm going to create data frame from the list. See here, I created a list. Send it as it is. And then NumPy, how we created the same way we created the list, and then we created a data frame. After that, I'm giving the value as v1, v2, v3. See here, I print it as df and df dot columns. I mentioned that df dot columns of v1, v2, v3 will display it like this. Okay. So as it is, I created one data frames and I'm going to indexing like this. See here, I mentioned df dot index. That is index of what are all the index it consists of, right? What are all the index the data frame consists of? The index are, we know that country, population, and square. See here, country, population, square, and D type is, which is in a mixed form, right? The data types in a mixed form. That's why the D type is object. Okay. Next, that is, I'm having 2 rows and 2 columns, means I can able to merge it also. That has been takes place on here. See, we already see this. And the index has been, even though I can also created my own index, not only in which is not automatically generated by the Panda. We can also declare it in our as a user type form. So here the index is, see, I mentioned the index on here. After that, I'm going to name it that index name as country code. See here, till now, till the first running of comments, that this doesn't have any particular code or name, right? Index name. Here I mentioned the index name as, here they are mentioned as 0, 1, 2, 3. But here, see here, country code, country name, population, and square. So the country code which is created on here, and then country names already we declared. right? We can also able to array, provide a data frame for provide the indices to the pandas. So this is the location. So if I mention df dot location means it gives where it's present, right? Df dot location of KZ, that is KZ nothing but the index value is Kazakhstan. So if I mention like this, it will display the informations. That is country, Kazakhstan, population, square. If I mentioned ilog isn't that provide the index number also. So here I mentioned only the index name. But if I am giving I lock of 0, means here I mentioned the index position, right? Once if I know, it will displays the index name as well as the order all the values which is present on the particular index. The same way, which is also given, this is for two index and this is for slicing the index, and then data visualization in Python. How to visualize the data. So this is the way of displaying the data. I already told that we are having two packages in Python, which is NumPy and Pandas, right? It is mainly for do the operations in statistics, right? Visualization means I'm going to represent the data after segregating the data. I'm going to visualize it to attract the customer. For that, we are using the visualization tool, just data visualization using Python. In that, it's also having a special two packages, which is matplotlib and seaborn, right? Matplotlib is nothing but which is mainly for creating a graph. Seaborn is mainly for accurately representing the graph. So this is matplotlib. So once if I am giving like this, after input of NumPy and Panda, I have to retrieve it from matplotlib, import pyplot, and then import seaborn. So these two are the packages. So this is the way the matplotlib has shown. Like this, it will visualize the data. So these are all set to be bits, right? Bins. The values, once if I mentioned in a graph, means this will be set it at bins. And see here, I'm giving the X label as Pokemon and then Y label as frequency. See here, the X will be labeled as Pokemon and then frequency. I told that it is a speed, that is data frame is speed. Histobar, that is our graph should be represented in a bar chart, and it should be having the outer line as a black. Right, it will be once if I'm giving plt.show, it will display like this. So next is your seaborn. Seaborn is mainly for setting custom color palettes and mainly for attractivity in a statistics plots, and it's mainly for visualizing the information in a matrix form and data frames. So now plotting of seaborn. Seaborn is plotted is mainly for diversity of plotting functions, and it is having one line of code. So this is, I already told that this is the bins. The bins has been get plotted by plt.hist. Once if I declared like this, the function as plt.hit, it will display the seaborns. So these are the ways to display the matplotlib and the seaborns. This is the histogram, and once if I am giving the set style and this plot with the, I want to know how much of speed the data has getting transferred, means once I have to know by this only, right, the lines only. So this can be getted by this plot, df.speed means it will display like this. So these are all the other scatter plots. Scatter plot in the sense we are usually the customers not only usually in a statistic in a business way, they know they able to know that how the business has takes place and how the difference has takes place in a year wise. For that they are used to only scatter plots, right? So in matplotlib and cbonds, we can implement the graph in a scatter plot also. So here we are having scatter plot. We have to declare like this. This is the x-axis value and this is the y-axis value and data which is referred from df1. So this is actually we can without line also, without using the regression line also, we can display the data like this. So this is the blocks plot, which is mainly for if any errors occurs in a period in a business. If I am running a business, if any errors occurs means how can I able to know that if I'm giving once this blocks plot means it will display that wherever the errors is present, that will be displayed like this. So once if I'm giving a box plot, it will display it like this. See here, if I'm giving matplot in plot means it will like this. If I'm giving this plot, it will like display like this. If I'm giving bar chart, it will use the bar chart. If I'm giving box plot, it will display like this. Right? It will in this they are given that total, strategy, legendary. So these are all the things we are given on here. So this is the heat maps. Heat map is mainly for visualizing the data in a correlation way. So once if I mentioned sns.heatmap means it will produce the heat map like this. On there I'm giving box plot, right? If it is, if you are having some errors in your data means it will display like this. If I want to know the correlation value means then that time I have to use my heat maps. This is actually a bar plot. Okay, so that's it. Anyone having any questions?
Yes, Miss, we have question from participant in the Zoom already read in the room chat.
Sorry, ma'am, your voice is not that much audible for me.
Yeah, the question already read in the room chat.
Sorry, ma'am.
The question already read in the room chat.
Chat box. You already posted it in the chat box.
Yes. Yes.
One
please.
second. 1 second. The session is very interesting.
Yep.
So actually, Amin Tohari has asked that what are all the challenges when visualizing a big data using, right? Okay, for this is actually the NumPy and Pandas is for handling big data only. It's not for a small industry. It is mainly for big data. It is what they will do. Actually, once, for example, consider I want to start a business, right? What I will do initially, I just like that I won't start the business, right? I will get the information from various peoples. Then what becomes whatever I thought that already I told it. For example, consider I want to start a IT industry, right? What I will do initially, being a owner, what I will think that what are all the needs I need, right? What are all the needs I have to do for my business? How do I get the employees? For that, sure, we will ask our friends, or sure, we will see other companies, right? How can we able to get the data of other companies, right? How do we can able to know the history of the companies? We just go and Google it, right? What the Google will do, it gives some data, right? It is a big data, right? For handling that, only we are using the NumPy and Pandas. It is mainly for NumPy and it is mainly for big data. The big data will shows that is our NumPy and Pandas will shows the visualize the data, even though if it is a big data. So actually data wrangling is for clearing our before enter into data wrangling, I tell about what is data science. Actually data science is nothing, a collection of data, right? After collection of data, what I will do, I'm going to segregate it, right? For that they are using what data wrangling concept. What the data wrangling will do in the sense, by using that 6 steps, it will segregates the data and it's provide it finally given a particular original data to the user. So that is Pauline, you asked, right? That is the actual answer
Yes,
for
miss.
that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody having any doubts?
I guess no one else asking again, miss. Yeah, I think it's very clear as well. Thank you for answering. I hope this answering will be beneficial for our participant. Yeah. Before I close this event, I will go to the next session for the documentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Whether
Yeah.
the session is interesting to everyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Before I close this event, for our participant, please open your camera. I will take a picture of the count of 3. Okay,
Especially
1. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to thank you for Miss Vaidegi for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for our participants. At least we hope to have more collaboration in the future with Arunai Engineering College India. The visiting lecture for today and here. We hope to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you so much for Miss Vaidegi and Professor Noorul. Thank you and bye-bye.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.